guys, it's Amber. So today I'm going to be doing products I regret buying. Now last year I decluttered a lot of things that I wasn't using and things I didn't really want or like, and so I don't have a ton of things, but I do have a few things to show you. And there's different reasons why I regret buying these. I think sometimes when people start these videos, they're just like, oh, you're just hating on a brand or you're hating on, you know, this item. And sometimes it's not even about the product being good or bad. It's just that you regret buying it because you shouldn't have spent the money, or it's just a product you don't use, or maybe it just didn't work out for your skin, or you don't find it's something you're reaching for, or maybe it's something you already had something so similar that you were like, that's kind of a waste. So that's kind of the broad spectrum of what these items are. But some of them just didn't work at all. Some of them are good products, they just didn't work for me, or I just didn't really need them. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. When I was decluttering, I got a lot of crap for like getting rid of a lot of e.l.f. products, but it's because I'm not one to go to Sephora and just buy a bunch of high-end stuff without knowing I really want it. I will swatch things, I'll look at them, I'll watch reviews, I'll look at colors, and I'll make sure that when I buy something I really like it. And if I spend $50 on something and I don't like it, I'll take it back. So it's not something that's as high risk for me because I really do my research. Now with drugstore items or e.l.f. items, I'm ordering online, so I can't really well swatch the product as well. And so there tends to be a few more products that I end up not liking, and I'll usually just throw things in my cart because I'm like, oh, I have 50% off, or, you know, it's so cheap, it's another $6, who really cares, that type of thing. So I'm not hating on e.l.f. at all, but I will share a few products right now that didn't work out for me from e.l.f. The first one, I apparently threw out the mascara, but I kept the package so I could tell you guys about it. I don't know why. But this was a lash extending mascara. This was really, really bad. I bought this during Vlogmas to do a one brand tutorial doing all e.l.f. products. And it was so bad that I actually couldn't even use it in the tutorial. Like, I was using it and I was like, this is horrible. And then I just stopped and got something else. So I think this was like, I don't know, it wasn't terribly expensive, but it was like, wow, that was kind of a waste of $5 because I didn't even use it once. Like, I didn't even finish one makeup look with it. It just made my lashes kind of clumpy and it didn't extend, and it was like, it was almost empty. It was like, I don't know, it just didn't work good for me at all. So that was a definite fail. The next was the Rose Royalty. I think this was like the Barely There blushes. And this is so dry, and it was dry when I bought it. And I mean, it's a decent color, but it's just, you know, when you have blushes that are so much more creamy, I just didn't really like the formula of this. I just felt like it was too stiff. It had this brush that you're supposed to use with it. I like the brush, but this, I didn't like these Barely There cream blushes. I don't think I used it more than a handful of times, and it didn't work out for me. Alright, next I ordered this by mistake. This is the e.l.f. Shadow Lock Eyelid Primer. When I ordered it, I thought I was getting just the neutral, or I thought Pearl was a neutral, but Pearl is not neutral. Pearl is glitter. So I was not happy because I like to wear a lot of matte shadows in my crease. And I mean, I wear glitter too. I mean, I got a whole heck of a lot of glitter going on today. But I just don't like putting that on top of a shiny primer. I would rather just use a neutral primer or a matte primer and then have the shimmer come from my shadows. So I don't really use this, and I kind of regret buying it. Next, this is a product I bought because of Emily Noel 83. She raved about this daily moisture stick from e.l.f. and how she would like just touch it up and put it under her eyes. I just didn't find a use for it. I didn't feel like I was getting cakey under my eyes where I needed it. I didn't really feel like I needed moisture on my face anywhere else. I just didn't find a use for it, so I never use it. So I'm sure this is a great product, and it probably works really great for those who like it. I just personally don't ever have a use for it, so I never use it. Okay, the last e.l.f. product is the e.l.f. Makeup Remover Pen. Now, let me preface this by saying I didn't exactly use this correctly. A lot of people who like this say, I think it was Jessica Braun, and she's like, oh, I love this thing. But I think what they do is they take off their eye makeup and then they immediately roll off the product to reserve the tip. Well, I didn't do that. So Like, this makeup remover doesn't remove makeup, it draws makeup. Because I had like a big old wing and I went in there, whoop, whoop, and like touched it up, and then I didn't realize I was supposed to wipe it off, and maybe that was just being me being stupid, but I didn't realize that. And so then, like, the next time I tried to use it, it was like smudging and like dripping down. I was like, this is horrible, what? And I'm like, why would I spend $3 to fix my makeup once? I can just use a Q-tip. Okay, so I regret buying this just because it doesn't really do what I need it to do, and I didn't use it quite properly, so now it's pretty much useless. Okay, so that's all my e.l.f. products. The next one is an eyeliner. This is the Hard Candy Stroke of Gorgeous, and I like this eyeliner okay, but I love my Stila Stay All Day. I think I would repurchase this. I got this in the Sephora Favorites box. So when it comes down to the two of them, I'm just like, I never reached for this. I don't really like it all that well. I have another one from the drugstore from Jordana that works better than this and was cheaper. So there's really no point in me keeping this, so I regret it. Okay, next is something I've had for a long time, and I bought this because of the hype, because it was limited edition. Now, color tattoos have kind of taken a back seat, but there was a moment on YouTube where they were like the almighty raining from heavens above glory of the color tattoos, and I bought into the hype like nobody's business, and I bought a ton of colors, and now they kind of just sit in my drawers. And this is one of the colors that I bought, and it was limited edition. I was so excited to get it, and it's beautiful. It's iridescent blue. The problem is I just find myself not using colored bases as much, and these are getting dried out, and I just don't have a lot of times when I need periwinkle blue base. It just doesn't happen. I don't know if I'm not living my life right or I need to be more adventurous, but I don't wake up on a daily and say, I think I really want to wear periwinkle blue today. It's just not something that really happens. Now, if I wanted to wear this with a color, it would be very pretty under the Pop Rocks color from ColourPop. This would probably go perfect with it. Yeah, these are almost identical, but this is more blue and this is slightly more, I kind of put it over it. This is more blue and this is slightly more purple. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, I probably shouldn't have bought that because I'm not using it and it's just kind of going to dry up and go to waste. The next product is a MAC product, and this is pretty much the same reason except for there's a whole heck of a lot more product. This is beautiful. This is the Shimmer Mint Mineralized Eyeshadow, another limited edition product. I bought this at a CCO, so I know I didn't pay full price for it. But this is a giant eyeshadow. And it is really, really pretty. It's really sparkly. And I want to get more use out of it. But I just think there's so much. I have so much eyeshadow. When am I ever going to use this much? I just think for the price of how big these bigger mineralized eyeshadows are, I'm just not going to go through it. I just don't hit pan on that many things to justify having a giant mint eyeshadow. Now, of course, when I swatch this, I'm like, oh, but it's so beautiful. But it's the same category as these other shadows. It's just, is it something I'm going to be reaching for on a daily basis? No, not really. Let me swatch it next to Pop Rocks just for an example. Okay, now Pop Rocks is a little darker, but that's a $5 ColourPop shadow. See, for me, buying a funky color for $5, buying a funky color for $17, you know, it's just like, I don't know exactly how much these are. I was just throwing that out. So, if you know the right price, you can tell me. But I just feel like I should probably experiment with colors when they're less expensive if they're not something I'm going to wear every day. Okay, next, this is a product that I mentioned in my ColourPop collection video, and this is the Super Shock Cheek in Birthday Suit. Now, the reason why I regret buying this is because it's a cream product, so it means it's not going to last forever. It's going to dry up eventually, and this color and prenup are so close that they're almost undetectably, there's no like detectable difference when I put them on my cheek. Prenup is a little bit more purple, so I do prefer it a tiny bit more, but when I looked online, this one looked a lot more purple, and this one looked almost like the Benefit Dallas, and I thought, oh, these are going to be so different. And then when I got them home, I was like, oh, they're kind of the same thing. And I mean, granted, that's what you get when you order online, But if I went back in time, I would have skipped this one and got a different one and kept the prenup. Alrighty, so my last drugstore haul, which was like a month or so ago, I bought this Wet n Wild illuminating palette. And it just, I used it for a while with my project palette. I used it trying to get a lot of idea of how I liked it from the update, and I did say it was okay. And I'm not someone that only needs to use high-end makeup, but when I have this Becca highlighter in my life, I just don't think I'm gonna reach for this. This is so smooth and silky. It's just like, wha-bam. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's a nice golden champagne. I love this. And this is just kind of, like, can you hear it? It's kind of scratchy. I mean, it's okay. It's a more pinky tone highlighter. It definitely isn't like a color match or anything. But when you swirl it all together, it's quite pink. So I would stay over in this area, and that way I got a color that was a little lighter. It's okay. And if I want a pink highlighter, it works okay. I just don't ever find myself really reaching for it. I even prefer this Blush Gems from e.l.f., which is just sitting here on my little vanity. I mean, this I would still probably reach for over that one, and it's so giant that it would take me a lifetime to work through this. And I honestly would rather just give it to my niece or somebody who would actually use it than just to keep it for the sake of keeping it. Okay, the last one, this palette I bought several years ago. I did a tutorial on it. I also did a giveaway on this, and I ordered it off of Haute Look. But it's something that I never reach for, and when I wear it, I'm not that thrilled with how my makeup looks. This is the Lorac Stylist palette. This is actually the only palette I own from Lorac. And I've heard that these palettes have a different texture than the Pro palettes or the Unzip palettes. And I would really like to try one of those. But I was trying to be budget friendly. I think this came on sale for like $15 on Haute Look. And I was like, hey, this is a good way to try out Lorac. But honestly, I should have just saved my money and gotten one of the Pro palettes because it just isn't something that wows me. I just don't find myself reaching for greens very much. And I don't find the shadows to be like, it's not that they're not pigmented. I just feel like I have a harder time blending them. They're just not as creamy and smooth as the Pro formula is. And I know that just from like touching it and swatching it and seeing other people apply it. It's just okay. And I think in the world of Too Faced chocolate bars and naked palettes, this is just something that I'm not going to reach for. And if I'm not going to reach for it, it's kind of a waste of money. Alrighty, that was everything that I regret buying. Of course, as always, this is my personal opinion, so don't take offense if this is like your holy grail palette or anything. It's just, it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Help you immensely because those months are so rough and so hard, and it's even more difficult because it feels like nobody knows what you're going through. Like, you're just expected to like go through your daily life and do all these things and be a normal person, and inside you're like, ah, help me, I'm not a normal person.